Hey guys, Dolly here with Gypsy Rose Papery. Today I have another journal for you. I had some residual creative energy, I guess you can call it, after doing my goth swap with April from Pink Oddbird, and I had a lot of black stuff lying around, and I said I'm just gonna make a little journal. So I went with a Penny Dreadful theme because that's one of my favorite shows. I've watched it, I can't tell you, I've watched the entire series multiple times. And I kind of won't get into the whole what the series is about, because if you've watched it, then you already know, and if you haven't watched it, you won't really care. So basically it's a very dark show. So this kind of theme went really well to represent that show. It's a tiny little thing. It's 6 by about 4 3/4. It's all lace sewn onto a black satin fabric, and I put some black rose trim on the spine to hide the signature stitching and the closure seam binding that I've kind of attached to the spine. So we'll open her up. It's about, I want to say it's about 40 pages, so a total of 80 front and back. There's a lot of animal symbolism in the show, but a scorpion is one of the ones that they use a lot, and they didn't have a scorpion. I actually went to one of the craft stores yesterday specifically looking for a scorpion type fixture, and they didn't, and they had this really cute spider, so I got that instead. In the front here, I got this image off of Pinterest. It's they came out with a tarot set, and in the back I just stamped a little skeleton dancing. But I got this idea from Marina, and she did a Penny Dreadful journal, and I linked that in my previous video where I go over my goth journal. But this is a pocket here. It's not attached, so you could put whatever you'd like in there. And the front, I sewed some paper on there. It's got like some lettering, which I thought was really cool. Just a little lace pocket. And then the first image is of Vanessa. Vanessa Ives is the main character, and she's got her scorpions on her. I centered this around the love story in the show, so you'll see a lot of romantic-esque type quotes and stuff like that, but the first one is definition of love. A lot of stamping in here. The second one is of her and Ethan, which is Josh Hartnett, and they're a love story, and I quote that just because, and if you're a fan of the show, you know why, and if you're not, I don't want to spoil the ending for you. But anywho, just of them together. I stapled some extra lace on the pages, some more stamping. And that's the full stamp that was behind that tarot card. In here, I just took a little pin. Oh, it's a Tim Holtz pin, and I attached a little gun, because in the show, Ethan is known as a sharpshooter. That's how him and Vanessa meet, and this is one of the flyers to his show. So I thought that was really cute. I happen to have the I happen to have a little gun charm, and then holding it to the page is a little Big Ben paper clip, because it is set in England, Victorian England. Here's another picture of Miss Ives. I attached a little Tim Holtz brad, the kind that has like a little loop on it. You can kind of turn her and right under, and then hide what you need to hide. Just to fold out. And here I've got a ticket to the London Railway. and a little perpetual calendar, and I've seen that on Nick Booksmith. I love that. And I went to, I think it was Hobby Lobby in the clearance rack, and they had it, and I was like, oh, I want it. Just some stenciling damask. This is Mr. Malcolm Murray, and he is the father figure in the show. Another little tab. This is, I think his name is, I always forget his name, Sambene. Same thing, little slides out. In the back too, you can write if you wanted to. The love quote again. Mr. Ethan and Vanessa embracing. Just some light stamping all over. This is Mr. Lyle, one of my favorite characters in the show for many reasons. Two lovebirds, just some washi, some spraying, another love quote. Middle of the signature, I just put some little black hearts, and this one flips out. There's a butterfly stamp. This guy has rosettes, flips out too. This is, I think his name is Alex. No, sorry, Victor Frankenstein. And he's actually plays Frankenstein, and he makes a Frankenstein in the show too. And this is Frankenstein, and he goes by John Clare, and he's one of my favorite characters too in the show for many reasons. And here's just a vellum envelope that I glued on, and inside is Billie Piper, who plays two characters. At the beginning of the show, like the first season, she plays Brona, and then she plays another character, Lily, who is pretty much the bride of Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein makes her for Frankenstein. And here's just a quote from, I think this is from Mr. Lyle, that quote. Maybe Sir Malcolm, I'm not sure. This is Dorian, plays Dorian Gray in the show. I forget his real name, but he's very handsome. Very handsome. Here I did like an effect on this character, and this is because, well, I'm going to ruin the surprise for those of you that are in the middle of watching it, so spoiler alert, do not continue watching. So this guy initially comes into the show as Dr. Sweet, and he works for the British Museum, and that's how the main character Vanessa meets him, but then he turns out to be Dracula, and I made the picture to look like there was distortion, because vampires aren't really supposed to show up clearly on pictures, or not at all actually, but I wanted him in here, and I thought that was the best way to represent him. More stamping, more stamping, more stamping, some metallic spraying, and I think this is the last, almost the last picture. The last picture is, this is the very last image of them two, and it's during a dream sequence, I think, hers, of them, and it's really sweet, and it makes me cry like every time I watch it. This is just the top tuck, and it's just a little place to write, and just a bunch of stamping in the back. And then here is just another lace pocket with their profiles or cameos, I'm not sure what you call that, and then another ticket, and then my stamp. And the back is just more lace. I don't know if you can catch that in the light, but yeah, it was a really fun journal to make, and it will be up on my Etsy shop probably by the time this video is up. So check the description box for the link if you're interested. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.